Hello and welcome. This video we're going to be taking a look at the Romulan light warbird battlecruiser, the Aelahl. We'll be taking a look at the Vanity shields available from the Dilithium store during certain events of the year, and the only one currently available in the Zen store. Some things to mention just before we jump into the video. Whilst recording this, I noticed that the deflector array was on the rear of the ship for some weird reason, and there's no star collector effect on this ship either. In the description below you'll find all the shields chaptered, so you can jump to the one you're most interested in. There's also other links in there that I'll cover off at the end of the video, and I appreciate any likes and subscribes as well. It does help the channel out. All that being said, let's get started. So the first shield we'll be taking a look at is the Alliance Vanity Shield. This is currently the only Vanity Shield available in the Zen store. It comes as part of the Khitomer Alliance bundle, in which you get the shield, the Khitomer Alliance uniform and an upgrade. So we've got the white hull material, we've got some gold shading and some grey shading. You can also just see at the bottom of the ship there, that red stripe as well. As we rotate round, we can see the cyan blue there on the nacelles. Now we've got the deflector in the rear of this ship, and that's that cyan section at the rear. Then we can see quite a few of the impulse colouring there, going from red through orange, yellow, white and back again. So we've got that on the top part of the ship there, we've got it on the bottom section, then we've got the same colouring just above the deflector. Again, we've got the impulse colouring there in the grey sections at the rear. We've got the nacelle colour of the cyan blue there, just mid-neck. And then we've got more of the gold and grey shading there as well, and more of those red lines. Then we've got more of the gold and grey shading there on the underside. Moving on to the Dilithium store, and this is a Safe Galaxy Refit Vanity Shield. Got this brownish grey patterned hull material, almost like an urban camouflage. And with some slightly lighter grey there on the V of the nose of the ship. We have the light yellow there for the nacelle colour. Then we've got the gold there for the impulse engines. The yellowish gold there for the deflector. Then more of the gold impulse colouring just above that, and on the lower section of the hull. Now as we look down, we've got the light yellow of the nacelles there, mid-neck. Touch more of the grey shading amongst the pattern of the hull material. Some more of the lighter grey shading there on the underside, along with the rest of that patterned hull material. Next up is a very popular shield in the game. It's the Baul Vanity Shield. We've got the black hull material, got the cyan lighting there for the nacelles, got that lovely red for the impulse engines. Then we've got that cyan dual circle effect there on the deflector. As we look down, you can make out that etched pattern effect on the hull material. Some more of the red impulse colouring at the back and then at the centre of the top section of the hull. And then again, we've got more of that red impulse colouring there on the lower section of the hull. Again, some more of that etched pattern on the hull material as well. Next up, we're looking at the Borg Vanity Shield. So this gives your vessel the look of a liberated Borg vessel. So I've got a grey hull material with a pattern made up of various shapes and sizes of hull plates. Then we can see the blue and gold illuminated sections there on the front V. So that's exposed areas of the hull that has a black conduit effect underneath the lighting effect. We can see it there just in the inner part of the nacelles as well. Got the same there on the side of the head of the ship, there to part of the nacelles. Then we've also got the blue of the nacelle. Got the blue there for the impulse engines. Got that lovely blue patterned effect there on the deflector. Then we've got more of that exposed conduit material with the associated lighting effects as well. Then we can see more of that impulse colouring, again there at the rear and then at the centre of the top part of the hull, and the blue nacelle colouring there mid-neck. Then we've got more of that conduit material with the associated lighting effects there on the underside. Here we have the Courier Raider Vanity Shield. So we've got this grey hull material that almost resembles bare steel, depending on the way the light hits it. See a touch of red lighting there, just on the protrusion from the top hull. Then we've got the white lighting there for the nacelles. Got white there for the impulse engines and also the deflector. Then we have the white there mid-neck from the nacelle colouring, and again more of the white there from the impulse engines at the rear and the centre of this top hull. And just more of that patterned hull material there on the underside, with some touches of black shading there as well. Here we have the Discovery Vanity Shield. So this shield has two different visual appearances depending on your faction alignment. So we're going to take a look at Federation aligned first, then move on to Klingon aligned. So this is designed to give your vessel a look of Starfleet vessels in the first season of Discovery. We have a two-tone grey patterned hull material. You can see the blue there on the nacelles. The red honeycomb pattern there for the impulse engines. And then this white with the blue line effect there for the deflector. And with the blue of the nacelles there, mid-neck. More of the impulse colouring again there at the rear and centre of the top hull. And then you can see that pattern effect there, especially in the lighter grey sections. Then we've got more of the red impulse colouring there on the underside, and more of that pattern two-tone hull material as well. And here we have the Discovery Vanity Shield on a Klingon aligned character. So we have this brown patterned hull material. We have this pattern effect there on the nacelles with some orange, yellow and white. Got the very light yellow pattern effect there for the impulse engines. Then that orange, yellow and white pattern effect there on the deflector. As we look down, you can see the full extent of that pattern effect. Again, the nacelle effect there mid-neck, and more of the impulse colouring there as well. And with the same here on the underside. Here we have the Discovery Refit Vanity Shield. So I've got darker shades of grey, again, two-tone colour of them. And we've got the white and blue there for the nacelle colour. And we've got the red impulse engines there. And we have that blue patterned deflector array. As we look down, we see the two-tone pattern effect there. Got the white blue there for the nacelle colour mid-neck. Then more of the impulse colours there at the rear and centre of the top hull. And the same here on the underside. Here we have the Emerald Chain Vanity Shield. So you can see this brown patterned hull material. Got the very light yellow there for the nacelles. Very light yellow, almost white there for the impulse engines. And same for that pattern deflector effect there. And we see a different shading there, making up that pattern on the hull material. Got that light yellow nacelle colouring there mid-neck, and then again the impulse colouring on the top. And the same here on the underside. Here we have the Emperor's Vanity Shield. So the grey hull material with some purple shading, as you can see on the inside of the V there. And we have the yellow there for the nacelle colour. The cyan blue there for the impulse engines. And that lovely orange pattern deflector array there at the rear. Then as we look down, we see some more of that purple shading. Got the yellow there mid-neck of the nacelle colouring, and more of the cyan blue for the impulse engine colouring there. And then as we look at the underside here, when it's shaded, you can make it that blue illuminated dots. So they're throughout the hull material, almost like a starfield kind of pattern to them. And then on the underside itself, got more of the purple shading and more of the cyan blue of the impulse engines there. Next up, we are looking at the Ferengi Vanity Shield. So we have the orange hull material that we see on the Ferengi vessels in the TV shows. We've also got some gold shading, and just at the front of the ship there, you might be able to make out that rivet pattern effect as well. As we rotate round, we've got the yellow there for the nacelle colour. Got a deeper yellow there for the impulse engines, along with the deflector array. And we've got the yellow there mid-neck for the nacelle colouring, along with the deeper yellow of the impulse colouring there as well. And we've also got some grey shading also, and just towards the outer part of the top hull, you can make it some more of that rivet pattern detail as well. And the same here on the underside. Here we have the Hur'q Vanity Shield. We've got a green hull material with some purpley brown shading and some illuminated green pattern material as well. We have the green there on the nacelles. There's that illuminated green pattern on the outer part of the nacelle. See quite a bit of it here on the rear. Then we've got the green pattern effect for the impulse engines and also for the deflector array. Now as we look down, we can see some black shading creating a pattern effect there on the hull material. Then we've got the nacelle green there, mid-neck, along with the green of the impulse engines showing as well. And some more of that illuminated green hull material, along with more of that purplish brown material as well. And quite a bit more of that illuminated material there on the underside. Here we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield. So, like the Discovery one, it does have two different visual appearances. So we'll have a look at the Federation aligned first and move on to the Klingon ones next. So we've got the pattern grey hull material. And we've got the blue and white there for the nacelle colouring. Got that orange and red pattern effect there for the impulse engines. Then that blue pattern effect there on the deflector. That's to mimic the look of the Enterprise deflector in the reboot films. Now, the one good thing about this ship not having any Bussard collectors is we don't have to endure the god-awful Bussard collector effect that this shield has. As we look down, we've got the blue and white there mid-neck of the nacelle colouring, and then we've got the orange and red pattern of the impulse engines there as well. And the same here on the underside. And here we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield on a KDF aligned character. So we see various shades of green there for the hull material. We have that blue pattern effect there on the nacelles. Got the red honeycomb pattern there for the impulse engines. Then that lovely red pattern effect there on the deflector at the rear. As we look down, again mid-neck there, we have the nacelle pattern effect with the blue and the grey. Then we've got some more of that red impulse engine colouring there at the back and then at the centre of the top hull. And then we're the same here on the underside. Next up, we're looking at the Prodigy Vanity Shield. This lovely grey patterned hull material. The lovely vibrant blue there on the nacelles. And we have the red there for the impulse engines. Then we've got this very bright white yellow and orange for the deflector array. As we look down, we can see the pattern in the hull material there. We've got the blue from the nacelles there, mid-neck, and then the red of the impulse engines on top of the primary hull there. And then again, we're the same here on the underside. Next up is I have another popular shield in the game, and this is the Section 31 Vanity Shield. So we have a two-tone dark and slightly lighter grey material, and if I zoom in a bit just now, you can see the pattern effect there. And we've got the cyan blue there for the nacelles, bit of stripe material there. The very bright red, honeycomb red impulse engines. Then we have that patterned cyan blue deflector array there. As we look down, you can see the various shades to the hull material. Again, that cyan blue there mid-neck of the nacelle colour, and more of the red from the impulse colouring there. And the same here on the underside. Next up we have the Shrike Vanity Shield. We've got this reddish orange hull material with some grey shading there as well. We have orange there for the nacelle colouring. Then we have this orange and red effect there on the impulse engines, and a yellow and red, almost a target pattern there on the deflector. Don't know if having a target on your ship's a good idea or not. Then as we look down, we see the darker shading there, very dark burgundy, almost purple shading. We've got the orange of the nacelle there mid-neck, and then the impulse pattern effect there as well. And the same here on the underside, with a touch more of the grey shading as well. Here we have the Tzenkethi Vanity Shield, so it's quite a busy shield, this one. So we've got the green, grey, black, and then that illuminated panel lighting hull material. You can see the carved pattern there as we look at the head of the ship. Let's rotate round, we've got the white there of the nacelles. Same there for the impulse engines. Then we've got that lovely warm orange of the deflector array. Then if you look at the panel lighting there from the rear, you can notice some parts of it pulsating. Then let's look down, again the white there of the nacelle and of the impulse engines, and more of that carved pattern on the hull material there. Then again on the underside, we've got more of that black shading, more of the grey, and then some more of that pulsating illuminated light panelling as well. Now we come to our final shield from the Dilithium store, and this is the Zhat Vash Vanity Shield. So we have an olive green and sandy brown two-tone hull material. And got the green there for the nacelle colour. Very vibrant red there for the impulse engines. And that lovely green pattern design there for the deflector. So we look down again, more of the red of the impulse colouring there. Green of the nacelle colouring mid-neck. Then that pattern effect with the two-tone hull material, which puts me in mind of an army camouflage, just with the colours. And with the same here on the underside. And that concludes our look at the Aelahl. So, certainly some interesting arrangement of the shield visuals on the ship. Overall, I think it looks like a fantastic ship. I do like it. I've flown it numerous times in the game. So I would like to see some better parts of the ship, having the Bizarre Collector or having the deflector array at the front, for example. But all in all, I was very pleased with it. So in the description, as I mentioned at the beginning, I have links there for my Real Merch affiliate, which will give you 10% off your order at realmerch.com. I've also got my social media links there, so my X and my Blue Sky, so feel free to reach out. I've also got links there for the STO Wiki and the official online news blog for Star Trek Online. And I've also got links for other content. So we have content from CasualSab, Nick NB and MC Stu. I have their YouTube and Twitch channels listed there as well. So, as always, thank you all very much for watching, and until the next live stream or the next video, thanks again.